I've been so alone ever since I left the tribe. That's just how it goes, guess I...
Hey guys, how you doing? Finally got some SRT4 content for you. I've been super busy, and so I don't have the teardown of the car because I needed to tear the trans out and I had very limited time. I actually pulled it out in like 45 minutes on my own, so I mean I was on a roll and just getting stuff done. So right now I finally sourced everything pretty much and I'm getting ready to put it back together. I'm doing some cleaning and everything, but I still need a couple things, and it's also cold, so I'm kind of waiting because it's supposed to be warmer tomorrow. But here we go. So this is what it, you can see my mess everywhere, and I have a light because it's hard to see. I'm going to open this door. It's kind of cold in here, but so it's really honestly not that bad to pull the transmissions on these cars. I mean, I did it by myself, no problem. Really, you take off the intake tube, you take out the battery tray, you undo a little bit of the wiring harness so you can flip it over. In my case, I have to undo my catch can, and then you have to take out the cold side pipe and the throttle body, and take out the axles. So you undo the ABS sensor and move that up, and then undo the two bolts out of here. This drops down, obviously the axle nut, and then the axles just pull out of the trans. Pop off the shifter cables, and then you got your starter bolts and the 6 bolts around the trans, and undo those, and you pop it right out. Comes right out the bottom. And there's another bolt for the trans mount here. So if you've done this before and you're on a roll and you got power tools, it's really not that bad at all. So that's what it looks like with a big gaping hole here missing. So this is more of the engine bay for you guys. I also noticed my valve cover is leaking a little bit, which it's honestly probably because it's been sitting for so long in the cold. And once I start driving it again and get it warmed up, it'll probably seal back up. I'm gonna check these bolts, but maybe I'll have to replace that, maybe I won't. Not that big of a deal. Valve cover gasket, not that big of a deal, but honestly I really think it's just because of how the motor's sitting and because it's cold and it's not been ran for a while. So once it warms back up, it should swell back up. But there's my turbo back in there. So it is still a stock turbo, but it's ported. As you can see, it's nice and machined down. So the compressor housing is ported, it's stock wheel, and so the exhaust manifold is ported as well. AGP wastegate, as you can see, a ton of the powder coating, but I've already went over all of that in the reveal video. So I will link my reveal video in this for you guys to see. So that's how she's sitting right now, no trans. So you come, and then I still need to get this old clutch off. I've been lazy and haven't tackled that yet because I've been doing cleaning, but it's just 4 18s on the back that will come off, and then I've got my new clutch so this is a modular clutch, and this is a stock style clutch. There's a flex plate, then the flywheel that bolts to that from the back, and then the whole clutch setup, and this stays all in one piece. I'm switching to a modular setup, so all this has to go and the flex plate comes off, and my new flywheel, which is from ACT, my new flywheel is an ACT lightened flywheel, and it is also all one piece. It's a solid flywheel, so that allows you to be able to take this apart like this. So the pressure plate comes off with bolts instead of it being riveted together, and you can replace the disc in itself and or repair it, blah 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 blah. Instead of, if it goes bad, you need the whole thing. So it makes it a lot cheaper to repair. Also, this will allow it to rev quicker. This setup also holds more power because this pressure plate is way heavier and the surface area is bigger, allowing it to hold more power. So this is a ACT XT pressure plate, the biggest one they make. This is a custom-made disc by a clutch company by my house. or well, located local to me. So it's a dual sprung 6-spring center hub, all made in the USA, carbon Kevlar both sides, full disc. So I went with the street disc, and then this is the ACT flywheel. So this whole setup was actually in another vehicle. It's actually in my buddy's in my other buddy's SRT4, which he parted out. So that is why it's got a little bit of wear to it. But I got this on a really good deal. It's very low mileage. So I mean, the disc is basically brand new. I mean, there's a ton of life left to it. And I know this holds, so you know it was proven that it was working in his car, so I'm not concerned about that not functioning. I just cleaned it up real good, and then we'll put that all back in. Cleaned up my, I have an AGP, AGP clutch fork, and got a new DCR pivot ball that I'm going to be installing. Here's my transmission. So my transmission, I went through it, cleaned the internals out, and it looks all good. So I took care of all that. I'm gonna clean the outer casing. I resealed this, and I'm gonna clean the outer casing and put that back together. I did realize that I do need a new axle seal here, so I'm gonna have to get a new axle seal. This one's got a little piece that's broken off of it, but no big deal. So I gotta source a couple more things. This really all isn't that big of a deal. I'm really more of this is an upgrade so that I can go E85 on my car. The clutch I have right now wouldn't have worked. Well, I don't have much video in between, but I did have a little bit of video when it was completely torn apart. I just finished putting everything back together, triple checking everything, bleeding the clutch, and I'm hoping it's bled this time. If not, we're going to vacuum bleed it tomorrow and make it perfect. But new clutch is in, ACT XT pressure plate, chromoly flywheel, street disc, and we're gonna fire it up. And it literally hasn't been started in like several months. So it's now March, and we're gonna do the first startup for the year. And there's a meet Saturday, so I hope to be there. But yeah, like I didn't even clean my tools up yet. So all right, I'm gonna hand off the camera here, and I'm gonna do the honors as soon as I find my keys. Actually, I don't know where I put them. I see him. I see him. We're good. All right. Hold on.
Where do you want me to stand with this thing? Do you want me to just...
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna... Let me roll the window down.
Yeah, that's better.
And then I'm gonna let the fuel pump do its thing for a second.
Okay.
Let me put my mat back down. Yeah, because we're gonna have to go take this and get fuel like ASAP. It's got like a quarter tank in it.
ASAP.
Alright. Not in gear. Alright. Alright, here we go. Here goes nothing. Alright. You can tell it's needs to warm up because it's obviously high idling, which that'll go away. But man, come on, focus. But yeah, it's running the right air fuel ratio. It needs fresh fuel, so I'm gonna go put fresh fuel in it. But first I'm gonna let it warm up fully and hopefully see all the vacuum leaks, because it's run a little bit high on vacuum right now, but also because of high idle. So we'll see. I'm gonna let it warm up and go get gas, and then I'll come back. But so far, let me check and see if there's any leaks. Sounds good to me. little bit of coolant I spilled is burning off the exhaust already. Yep, nothing's coming out from up top, so alright, let's see how this goes.